You make the promise every single January. You're going to save more money. You're going to quit that awful habit. You're finally going to start that massive project. And why not? Because future you will handle it. Future you is incredibly responsible, wakes up at 5 a.m., and absolutely loves doing the hard work.
Except, here's the wild part. The brain scans say otherwise. To your brain, future you isn't actually you. He's a complete stranger. And that single, hardwired neurobiological glitch is exactly why all your grand resolutions are brutally murdered by the second week of February.
This is Mind Spectrum, and a brain imaging study found that when you imagine your future self 10 years from now, your brain lights up the same way it does for a total stranger.
Part 1. The Resolution Glitch. Think of your brain as a crime scene where your good intentions are the victims, and we finally have the fMRI evidence to convict the killer. Stanford researchers put people in scanners and asked them to think about three things: present you, a total stranger, and future you. They mapped the medial prefrontal cortex, which is basically your brain's me center. Now, think about present you, and boom, it lights up like a Christmas tree. Think about a stranger, and it dims. But the crazy part? When you think about future you, it dims just as hard, landing right next to the total stranger.
Scientists actually call this low future self-continuity. It means the mental thread connecting now you to later you is completely frayed. Your brain literally demotes future you, shoving them into the exact same mental filing cabinet as random people on the street and faraway places.
We see this glitch play out in real time with cold, hard cash. When faced with a choice, people with weaker continuity will gladly take $100 today over $120 next year. Why? Because to their brain, next year's money belongs to a complete mystery person anyway, so I give them a free $20.
Part 2. The Neuroscience of Procrastination.
It is time to completely reframe your daily failures. When you skip the gym, you aren't letting yourself down. To your brain, you're letting a stranger down. This is driven by something called temporal discounting, meaning your brain naturally values rewards less the farther away they sit in time. $1 today beats $2 tomorrow. Not because you're bad at math, but because psychological distance convinces you that those later rewards aren't actually yours to enjoy.
Part 3. Meeting your future self.
So, if our brains are wired to betray us, how do we hack the glitch? Researchers asked a brilliant question. What happens if you actually meet 70-year-old you? They used a machine to realistically age people's faces, picture the world's most depressing photo filter, and gave them a budgeting task.
The results were a massive spike. When future you stopped being a faceless stranger and suddenly became grandpa you staring right back at them, people allocated roughly twice as much money to their retirement. Same income, same intelligence, the only difference was putting a face to the name.
Here is the actionable hack. You have to make future you concrete. Thickening that mental thread means giving them a name, giving them a face, picturing a highly specific Tuesday in 2031. When you do that, you act like you're actually investing in yourself instead of donating to a charity case.
Part 4. The Fated Continuum.
Now, calling your future self a total stranger is a little dramatic. In reality, most of us sit somewhere between best friend and total stranger on a sliding scale. And there are a few caveats. Teenagers show the absolute weakest continuity, which is why they discount the future the hardest. Culture matters too. More collectivist societies are naturally better at weaving identity across generations, making this whole stranger effect heavily a Western brain habit. And finally, a one-time VR glimpse of old you isn't a magic pill for lifelong discipline. The initial shock does fade.
Part 5. The person with no hands. Every single time you utter the words, "I'll start tomorrow," you are making a profound decision about a completely different person's life. Your brain calls it not my problem, that's someone else's Tuesday. But here is the heavy truth. You are the only one with hands right now. Future you cannot physically go to the gym. Future you cannot open a savings app. They are entirely, helplessly at the mercy of present you.
It's the ultimate hypocrisy. You would feel terrible stiffing a total stranger on a debt. The guilt would eat you alive. But you betray future you daily without a second thought, completely guilt-free, all because your brain doesn't file him under me.
Tonight, when you try to pass the buck and say, "I'll do it tomorrow," catch yourself. Recognize that you are handing your life over to someone your brain filed under other people. You don't have to love future you, but you do need to give that person a face, a date, and a real reason to be saved.
If this made you rethink who you're actually making decisions for, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what's the one thing you keep promising future you?